What's up, everyone? This is the AMZ Answers podcast, episode number 26, Branding and Marketing Week, how to make your product better than everyone else's.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the AMZ Answers podcast.
Welcome.
I'm up here in the dog shack with my brother Noah. I am Adam. This
I'm Noah.
Episode number 27.
Hi, Adam.
How to make your product better
Hey.
than everyone else's. Noah, what is the gripe that you have?
A gripe that I have is when you're on a highway, a 2-lane highway, and the wall is like right next to the lane, and it's terrifying. Mm-hmm. I just drove back from Dallas today. That's what I'm saying.
There's a big wall.
There's a huge, like the median wall is inside of the lane, basically.
Oh.
So you either hit the wall or you almost stay inside the other lane.
That's a good one.
What's your gripe?
My gripe is when you go to a coffee shop and they're selling bags of coffee for like $15, but I'm not there at the coffee shop to buy the coffee. I'm there to get a cup of coffee. And if I wanted to buy coffee, I would have gone to the grocery store where it's cheaper.
I don't like your gripe at all. I think they have every right. I think they have every right to sell the coffee there.
I don't want to buy the coffee.
I actually thought that you were going a different direction with your gripe.
I just want a cup of coffee. I don't want the whole bag. A marked up bag. I'll just go to the grocery store. Yep.
Okay. I don't like your gripe.
All right.
Continuing.
All right. How to make your product better than everyone else's. Why is this important?
Okay, guys. So this is something that we wanted to go over because I do a really specific kind of branding with my products, and it seems to work really, really well. So we wanted to give you guys that tip.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So what I do is so you guys know Geico, right? And when people so this weekend, my girlfriend was like, there was like a gecko on the wall, and she was like, oh, it looks like the Geico gecko.
God damn it.
Right? Yeah. God damn it. They won basically when she said that. So, and you guys also know Bounty, how they have the bears, right, wiping their butt with the tissue paper.
Do you know that one of the toilet paper has who's Mr. Clean?
No, Mr. Clean is cleaning.
Who? No, there's a man, like a lumberjack.
It doesn't matter because it's all going to bring me to my point.
Yeah.
What my point is that, so a lot of people are just going to make branding. They're going to make like really nice packaging, and they're going to make like some, glossy packaging. But the real way to get people is to like make an animal with your thing. So we always use the tape measure, for example. So if I had to make packaging with a tape measure, tapeworm is not good, but I would make like a really cute snail.
Oh, yeah.
And I would call it like the snail measure. That's not a good name because it has negative connotation, snail. But you guys get what I mean. I would make it like this. I would call it the snail measurer on the top. And then I would make it a picture of like a snail in like a tape measure. So this also works to protect your label, right? Because once you use that snail in commerce, other people can't use it. Because essentially it's trademarked to your name. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you do like the snail measurer and you make a cute little snail, it makes people like, it's kind of like the Geico gecko. It like sticks in their mind, and for some reason they really, really like it. All my different products, and I have about 9 different SKUs, so 9 different listings just in the US. All of them have packaging with a different kind of cute animal on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that's been a big reason for my success. Is just put cute animals on the packaging and people like it.
Yeah, I agree with that. That would definitely make your product better and it will stick in people's minds. I was going to say something about your one of your products, which is not only do you have animals on it, but there's also like the animals are doing things.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So one product I have is a play on words. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to describe this without giving away my product.
Well, I mean, like, you can not just having an animal, but having like an idea of what these cute little animals are doing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like for the tape measure, mm-hmm. for the snail, mm-hmm. you could say like the snail inching along.
Yeah.
Or something. Obviously, I understand. We're coming up with this on the top of our heads. So, mm-hmm. but what I'm doing is like the snail would be like inching along, and it'd be like a snail like going along. Yeah. Some kind of pun that you put on the packaging.
So how do you even execute this if you want to have an animal on your packaging? How would you design it? Do you design it yourself? Do you get someone else to do it?
So you could do this for very cheap. You could ask your supplier first for what's called the blank template of their packaging. What the blank template is it's just an outline of the packaging that's blank. Get a 30-day free trial on Photoshop, put it into Photoshop, And there's only a couple tools that you need to use. You just use the text tool, and that's you just writing your snail measurer at the top. And then you find a picture of a snail on Google Images, okay? And then you put it into Photoshop and you trace over it. And what that does is that creates a cartoon of that snail. And that's what you can use for your logo.
Mm-hmm. So do you submit to them back the template with the snail on it?
Yeah, and then you send them back the template with all that stuff on it.
Okay, that's if you want to do custom packaging, not just a sticker.
Exactly. If you don't want to take care of this, you're like, I don't even want to learn the basics of Photoshop or anything, which is totally fine, and for some people might be the right decision. You can get someone on Fiverr or Upwork that has very basic skills, and if you tell them exactly what to do, they'll do it for like $20. Yeah. I'm actually thinking that is a much better option than the first thing I said.
Yeah, but they might not be good at it at all.
They might not be good at it, but you can do a ton of revisions on Fiverr. So usually when I use Fiverr, and I get something back, I just did a Japanese translation on Fiverr for one of my listings,
right? And
it was terrible when I got it, but I had like 3 revisions on it, and you can just keep asking to revise, and they'll keep doing it because they don't want a bad review.
So have you gotten good characters from Fiverr this way? It's hard for me to believe.
I've done all my Photoshop stuff myself, so I haven't done this through Fiverr, but I've gotten good listing translations through Fiverr.
Okay, so you do the whole design yourself, or do you do some of the design somewhere else? Like, do you make the character yourself and then do something else, or do you make the character and the background and everything in the template?
So now I do a very basic design, which is I just make the packaging, and then I make like some cool bubble words for the snail measurer, right? Mm-hmm. And then I make just I take a picture of the snail and I trace it out into a cartoon and I put it on the front. So it's very, very basic. Once I put that into the market and it starts selling well, at that point, I might get a graphic designer.
Yeah, I think that this is a really good thing to do for items that aren't exactly sexy at first. Like if you have an item like a tape measure, it's not a sexy item. But if you put a snail on it, it becomes like this sexy thing.
Exactly. I think it's a great thing to do because like what you said, the unsexy items, mm-hmm. those kind of sellers don't include packaging.
They don't. They don't know what
they're like. Yeah, they don't want to include packaging with it. So you including some kind of cool packaging, you could be the only and first person to like brand your thing coolly, which happened to me, and that's my best product.
Right. No, that's a common thing. If you're in a niche and you see that it hasn't been branded appropriately, you enter that space and brand the crap out of it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna break it down for people again.
Sure.
What I think they should do.
Yeah.
So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna figure out the box that you need for the size of the box with your supplier. If they can't do packaging, okay, you're just going to say, okay, I'm going to get a separate packaging supplier. They're going to send the packages to you. It's very easy to find a packaging supplier. Figure out the dimensions and then say, can I have a blank template? They will most of the time know what this means. They're just going to send it to you. It's going to have the outline of the box if the box was laid into 2 dimensions.
Yes.
Do you have a better way to explain that?
No, you're doing good.
Okay, so it's the box if you laid the box in 2 dimensions, which is going to look a little confusing at first, but just look at it, even maybe cut it out and like kind of shape it around into the box so you can see how it works. Once you have that, put cool bubble letters on the front. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if it's like a very manly kind of tool, don't make them bubble letters, make them more like metallic or like steel. Or
yeah,
like
this is all in Photoshop, by the way. It's worth it to have basic Photoshop skills, and it doesn't take that long to learn.
Yeah. A really good thing to do is when you get an item, just look at similar branding that you like and just have that up while you're doing yours, and it'll give you a lot of great ideas. So put the letters that you want, and then find your character or your avatar basically for the brand. Mm-hmm. Get a picture of it on Google Images, mm-hmm. put it into Photoshop, and trace it. You're going to trace it with what's called the pen tool, and it's going to create like a character. If you don't know how to do tracing or anything, look up like how to trace photo to make cartoon.
What do you mean by tracing?
On YouTube.
Like, is that a function of the program, or is that like actually tracing the outline of it?
You are going to trace the outline of it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you're going to put that right on the front of the box. For the rest of the box, just make it the same color as the front, because all people are really going to see in the main photo is the front. So that's all that really, really matters. That's 80% of what matters. Mm-hmm. And the final 20% of what matters, if you get that product to market and it starts to sell really, really well, get a graphic designer to do the whole thing.
You can get a designer to do it. I've gotten like some of the best design branding I've ever seen for like $400.
Yeah, and yours was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
She did the whole thing for $400?
She's done a bunch of my stuff for $400. And it was awesome. It's another level, but you don't need to be at that level right away.
Yeah, her stuff is awesome, but I think that you should, once you prove sales, you can get there.
We'll tell you who she is. Send us a message on the group if you'd like. We can tell you who she is. Also, it's really important that if you are looking for packaging, make sure that your margins are still intact. You don't want to go dip into packaging and then ruin your margin.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yep. What's your biggest takeaway from this episode?
My biggest takeaway is that making a simple cartoon cute avatar can have a huge effect on your sales.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway is that I just like that stick to an unsexy item. If you have a sexy item, if you have a sexy item that's like workout equipment or like aromatherapy stuff or something that like is like cool, like a lot of people like
be scared.
You should be scared and really question if that's a good item. If your item is something
that like other people would, if your item is something that you would feel really cool telling someone else that you made, that's usually a bad sign.
Usually is.
Yeah, if your item is something that you're afraid to tell people, that's usually a good sign.
Well, don't do anything that's like illegal. That's not what we're saying.
No.
You mean do something that's like kind of just normal, just not boring.
I'm saying do something that like people that are just dabbling into Amazon wouldn't do because they're like that would suck to research.
Like a boring item is a good item for FBA.
Yeah.
As far as we're concerned.
Wrap it.
All right, that's it. All right, guys. So if you haven't already, join the Facebook group.
Join the group. You can talk to us directly there.
Tell us about what's going on with you. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Thanks, guys.
That's it.
Bye.
Bye.